Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X, Boss Rush's Xbox podcast. I am your host, Jesse Douglas, and I am here today with Eddie V. It's just the two of us today.
Just the two of us. If we try, just the two of us. Oh, it takes two. Well, that's the Rob Bass version I like, not the game. Hello, everybody. I was about to say E3 has came and went.
Yeah.
And, wow, that was exciting E3. I really must say.
Yeah. There, there's some lulls and things, but like overall, as a whole, we got to see some good stuff. I'm really excited for the first time in years for Battlefield and and stuff like that even, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in the show, but I remember, I think it was last year, the year before, seeing Scarlet Nexus and
last year.
And I was interested. I thought it looked really cool. But now, like, after this stuff we've seen on the extended, the Xbox Showcase extended stuff, we really got a deep dive in Scarlet Nexus, and I'm excited for that game. It just looks so cool.
Which is weird, because you would think Bandai Namco would have it, but I think they did the Nintendo thing where, and the reason why I'm bringing up Nintendo is because, like, Guardians of the Galaxy and A Plague Tale Requiem, when they were normally shown, they were shown in their separate shows, and none of them had the Nintendo Switch logo until the Direct came and they showed that it is coming to Switch. So I think that's probably what. Yeah, I think
one of those that's streaming though, isn't it? It's like
a cloud.
Yeah,
it's a cloud.
Which I have a lot of thoughts about that.
But I'm just talking about the announcement, the way that it was announced. So because like Bandai Namco only had one game, so seeing it at this extended play, explains why it wasn't at their E3 show.
Yeah. Well, it's Scarlet Nexus, I believe. I guess I thought it was at the original show, but they just showed like a little bit.
They only did one game. Yeah, Bandai Namco only did one game. The only thing they did was House of Ashes. And that's the Dark Pictures Anthology game. That's the only one they showed. And it was like they said it was like only 10 minutes, so it's just like that's why seeing like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot in Nintendo's Direct, Scarlet Nexus, like a lot of their stuff that they could have put in their own shows, Bandai Namco didn't. Well, I know Smash they can't do it because that's more under Nintendo's control. But it's just, it was very weird that these other places had their games to market and left Bandai Namco with nothing. Basically.
Yeah. Which they just felt like they wanted to only focus on the one thing, and they just didn't really want to set up a whole show because they, I think the thing is we're getting games obviously this year, but I feel like things that are ready to show off are slim pickings between all the companies, really, ultimately. Like, I think, with the pandemic just kind of putting a damper on some things, I think they just didn't want to do too much showing things that weren't really ready. Obviously Microsoft had to, because they've got to prove that they've got a strong future, for people who want to get an Xbox or do have an Xbox, so they had to show some CGI trailers and things like that just to let people know that we have stuff coming and there is things to look forward to, but
Mhm.
I mean, and like I was talking with you about, like, like the like Nintendo, like has had a lot going on and they've had a lot to offer. And so, like, they didn't really have a whole lot of proving themselves to do.
Yes.
There's some things like that were left open, like, like whether there is a new console or whatever, that I kind of wish they would have at least like said something about. But again, if they don't feel like they're ready, they're not gonna do anything. And that seems to have been like one of the main things this year. Is I think they just, a lot of companies, a lot of the developers and stuff just didn't want to show stuff too early, because it's such a weird place that they're in, that they don't know, when things are going to be done, and if they're going to be done in time to be showing things. So yeah, it was a weird E3, but at the same time, yeah, luckily there was a lot of stuff to be excited about. But
There, we had our Pride panel today,
yeah,
and I talked about the most disappointing thing of E3 that is like collective, 100% collective. And Grayson was just like, I already know what it is. And I was just like, it was Square Enix announcing Final Fantasy collection for Steam and mobile, and everybody on every platform was disappointed. It was
yeah,
like, it was around the world like upset. And it was just funny.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I was indifferent to the whole thing, just because, I mean, yeah, from a standpoint of a gamer, it's like, yeah, who's gonna care about all that stuff being on mobile? I mean, it's not, that's not really a
It's
platform that most gamers,
yeah.
are going to use.
Yeah, it was just the fact that people thought definitely they wanted it to come to Switch, but
Yeah,
everybody's just like, let it come to every platform, because pretty much, like, if you look at Game Pass, you got it's most of the Final Fantasy games are out, the modern
yeah,
ones,
yeah,
from 7 to 15, definitely for PS4 and Xbox One.
yeah,
And 1 through 6, the old classic ones, would have actually put out the whole series besides
yeah,
11.
yeah.
Because 11 and 13, well, 13 is, I think it's backwards compatible right now,
Wasn't
but
wasn't the early ones, or some of the early ones, on the NES Classic
nope.
or anything?
It
No.
was on
Okay.
it was on Super Nintendo, but I think it was Final Fantasy 3/6. But
Okay.
like one and two, I was never on it. 4 and 5, they weren't on it neither.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
3 wasn't on it. It was, I think it's Super Nintendo that had Final Fantasy 3.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that could be. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I honestly though, like, in my opinion, the only thing I was really really excited about or interested in at that Square Enix thing was
mhm.
the Final Fantasy spin-off game that
Oh,
looks like a Dark Souls kind of game, but done in the Final Fantasy world.
Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy
Yeah,
Origins.
yeah, that looks, yeah. Or wait, I don't know if it was that one. There's,
Yeah,
or maybe it
that's
was. Oh, was
that
it?
was the
Okay,
yeah, that's the Koei
that's
Tech, the Team Ninja one.
okay.
That got
Yeah,
the
yeah, okay,
PS5 demo out now. That
okay.
I think for 2 days that it was broke.
Yeah,
Yeah, it didn't, but now it's playable now on PS5.
yeah. All right, I'm gonna get into some housekeeping here really quick before we start the show. So I just wanted to let everyone know that, if you haven't yet, definitely go visit our website, because we have so much stuff there, so many great shows and stuff for people to check out, that, like, really, even if you're not even into games like as much, there's plenty of stuff for people like that too. So definitely, like, if you've checked that stuff out, tell friends. I mean, that's how we get found by people, is honestly just word of mouth. So yeah, but we've got shows like the EXP cast, WSD and Beyond, Lore Together, Tower Casuals, 1v1, our interview show, which is again, like, I mean, we touch on game stuff in that a little bit, but it's not so much about the games, more about like just learning about different cool people around the areas of gaming or music or comedy or whatever that we've interviewed. There's Pow Block, our Nintendo podcast, which Ed hosts. Crossroads, our PlayStation show. They do an amazing job over there on that show. If you love PlayStation, you definitely should be listening to that. And then, of course, we have our flagship podcast, Boss Rush Podcast. And then on top of that, as if that's not enough stuff to listen to, we also have over at our entertainment podcast area, Rope Talk, which is a wrestling podcast, LAN Party, and Trash Talk, which is a sports podcast, but it's for people who like aren't like super into the X's and O's of sports. They they just have a fun time over there and try to make it fun. So definitely go check all that stuff out. And that stuff can be found on the website and in your podcast feeds of choice. You just got to basically search for most of those and they should pop up. So all right, so let's get into the show. So actually, you know what, I was gonna leave it for later, but we'll stick to the regular doing what we've been playing in the beginning here, because I've kind of been playing a little something that I've kind of been excited to talk about. But Ed, you want to go ahead and start?
Okay, so for Xbox, because I'm gonna keep it just Xbox. I've been playing stuff the first Switch and PlayStation, but for Xbox, I started up Tunic and Sable to the games that's on their free demo, and they're good. Sable, I because I'm playing on the Xbox One and I know this is a demo. I hope it gets patched. There's some kind of weird frame rate issues going on with it on Xbox One. I don't know if it's smoother on Series X. There's some things I kind of like, I don't like about it. And it's there's a part where you got to find parts for your scooter.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to put a pinpoint thing to navigate and everything, but it doesn't. The way that is designed is that you got to move this thing up and down. Well, it really doesn't help when it doesn't look right, like with the way that you're zooming out and zooming in. Like, it would have been better just to be like, highlight those points that you need to go and just put them on the map, because the problem is that if you don't mark those parts down, because the person that's giving you the quest is just only showing you where, but it doesn't give you time to mark it or anything or highlight it. It gets problematic when you need to actually go and find that piece in there. And it kind of feels, and there was one point in it where it feels like you got to do a mission within a mission. So when you're getting one of the car parts or motor or bike parts, I should say, you run into this little boy who wants you to get some beetles from. Well, that's a side mission that shouldn't be a part of what you was tasked with.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird, and I feel like this is going to be part of the game where they'll tell you things, but you got to mark it yourself, and without not really no kind of map, because they don't give you a map in this demo. for you to like to highlight, not highlight,
Yeah.
but like pass through stuff. They don't really give you a map or anything. So
Yeah, they just have like a compass thing that you can make pop up where it looks like a hula hoop around you and shows you which direction to
yeah,
go towards. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like when you don't get anything that's directing you, you get lost because you can't ask the person who gave you the mission, hey, I need a reminder of where I need to go for this, because of the navigator thing being bad in this, it really gets hard to be like, where do I need to go with this?
Hmm.
So I'm still interested in playing Sable. I see that it has more of a kind of venture aspect, and you do get like new powers and stuff like that when you
Hmm.
adventure. But I feel like this game is going to be a 7 if I had to, when it comes out, when it gets rated, because I like what they're going for, but I think there's going to be some gameplay problems that should be addressed, but I think by the time the game comes out they won't be addressed. um
Yeah.
Tunic is fun, uh a little challenging here and there, but it's nothing too bad
No.
to get through. I think one of the problems that's going to be something with it is going to probably be the hit detection, because sometimes uh, when you're swinging the sword and trying to hit them, uh, it doesn't hit them. And
Hmm.
it may just be like the demo and stuff. And I know that some people gonna probably play this like a Souls game, because there's times where you have to roll back so you don't get hit, because a lot of energy
Hmm.
that's taken off in it. Um,
Yeah.
but it seems like it's going to be a fun game when it comes out. That one probably would get an 8 when it does. Last one I've been playing was Tell Me Why, and I couldn't understand it because I already beat it. I was playing Tell Me Why, certain chapters and stuff, so I could talk
Hmm.
about it on Talk the Walk for Pride Month. Um, and it's still fun and everything, and a little bit of Mass Effect Legendary on Xbox One. I was playing the first game and having a little bit of fun with it. I think I'm going to pop in um Far Cry 5
Hmm.
so I could finish it. I don't know, me and you playing it together um
Hmm.
or anything. And I did pick up 3 new games. That was like about $5 each. They're downloaded, and I don't got, but I didn't write them down, so I do apologize for that. I'm literally right now charging my batteries. Oh, Quantum Break is what I'm supposed to be playing on Xbox One.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
go, yeah, I'm gonna play it on easy. I already beat it. I played it on easy so I could get like I'm gonna try to get the collectibles that I miss, and I kind of just want to just revisit that game because it's been a while, and I haven't played it on my big TV on the 4K sets. So I want to see kind of how it looks, because it's probably some detail that I miss when I look at the game. It's still kind of Quantum Break still looks good to this very day. I think it's still one of Xbox's top games for the Xbox One, along with Forza and Ori. I still and Halo 5. I think Quantum Break is still a great game, um, to
Yeah.
play. So,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah,
okay.
I'm kind of with you. Like and I think we've talked about this before. It's like I absolutely love the heck out of Control,
Uh,
but Quantum Break is still for me the full package. Like I like everything about Quantum Break. Like even I know like some people have had some uh things that they didn't really care for about it, but I really liked it, and I like I've said this before, but like, and I think we both felt this way, is we would
mhm.
love to see a TV, like an actual full on TV show
Yes.
of that, or even like a movie, like like I think it would be an amazing uh thing. I mean, heck, they could, like that's the cool thing about like all their games that they've been making, is like they honestly, that's all that stuff could be adapted into like their own comic book universe. Like I think that would be really cool too, to like get like the whole Alan Wake and all those like Alan Wake alone could have an ongoing
Well, they all are.
comic series.
They're all in the same universe.
Yeah.
All the Remedy,
Yeah.
like Alan Wake Control and Quantum Break are all in the same universe.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it would be really cool. Like, yeah, just because I just loved, yeah, with Quantum Break where they tried the whole TV show stuff, and I know some people didn't really care for that, but like I thought it was a really cool part of it because I loved just getting that break to just kind of sit and just watch something for a little bit and take a break from the game and like really get immersed into what's going on and all that stuff. I really liked it a lot.
Yes.
So, but all right. Yeah, for me, I played Sable and Tunic as well, and like, yeah, like with Sable there's some little bugs and issues here and there that I ran into. I actually tweeted out the video of the bug that I had found, like literally the second the game started and I could control my character. I just kind of ran forward and I jumped right at this big face thing that's there in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
In this cave, and all of a sudden started climbing on it, and I'm like, oh cool, this is cool. Like it's got the whole like Breath of the Wild, you can climb on literally anything and everything.
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I climbed and I like lifted myself up on the edge of the character's nose, and then I jumped forward, and then all of a sudden the next thing I knew I was behind the face thing, stuck in a little room that I could not get back out of. I had to reset the game. So I was like, well, that's weird. Like literally within the first couple of seconds I broke the game. And so then I'm like, I wonder if I can redo that again. And so sure enough, it took a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
I just, for whatever reason, I got really, really lucky that I just went right through the glitch right away on the beginning the first time. But I did get it to happen, and I recorded it, and then I just kind of posted it and linked it the teams and stuff that are working on that game. Just like I wasn't trying to be like like putting the game down or anything. I just said, hey, just a friendly little like a little thing for you in case you guys didn't catch this glitch or whatever. And I was looking, and there was some other people who've kind of just tagged them and said, hey, there's this glitch or that glitch, just trying to help them out, like that hopefully they can maybe catch some of that stuff before the full game comes out. Which is really cool because if I remember correctly, they're a very small team that's making that game. Because I know there's a couple of those games like that are really, really small teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I think Tunic is like a team of like 5 or 8 or something like that making that or something. I don't remember, but so yeah, but it was interesting, and like it's definitely a different style of art that I haven't seen really before in a game. Like it's very abstract. Like it's just really a weird, interesting, like art style. And I really like it.
It's that thin line boldness,
Yeah.
kind of artwork. There's been some games that use it, but not too many.
Yeah.
But they're all been like indie games that use it.
Yeah. So yeah, like I mean I did enjoy what I was playing a little bit, but yeah, there's definitely some things that like just I think need a little help. Oh God, I don't want to start doing that again, the yawning, but that just need a little help, a little bit more polish or a little bit more looking at, like you were mentioning. I didn't have too much problem with the finding my way around stuff, but I do see what you're talking, like I do understand what you're talking about. Like there is like there could be a little bit more to that. because if I remember correctly, I thought you could open up a menu and then you can pick which thing you want to target to have the thing show up on your map, or not on your map, but on your like your compass thing that you can pull up.
Sometimes depending on what mission you select, it'll come up and show you. It'll have like a something. But with these car part ones, it's not coming up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe, who knows, that could honestly just be maybe like a bug or something too.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I definitely, though, Tunic, out of the two, though, Tunic is the one that I absolutely just, like, right away I fell in love with. Like, I'm all in on this game. Like I like that the whole game is like is puzzle solving, like right from the beginning. Like, there's areas that you think you can't get to, but you've just got to figure out a way to get around the fact that you don't have the tools to get to where you need to, and trying to figure all that stuff out, I think, is a really cool. And I like that there's no hand holding and stuff. And yeah, like, this game, it looks like just a complete kids game, but it's a lot more complex than it looks, at first glance. And like, they're just doing some really fun stuff with it that I've really been enjoying. So yeah, I didn't, like, I don't think I 100%ed the demo, but I finished it. Like, I got to the point of where it, like, like, ends, and then it brings you back to the main menu. So, but I really enjoyed it. I sat down and just like focus on that one day. So yeah, I've been playing that. And then with all the stuff we've been getting with Halo, I've been jumping back into multiplayer on Halo 5 and just been having so much fun playing that. I'm just ready. I'm ready for some more multiplayer games, because like mostly all I play right now is Fortnite. Like, because I can play that with friends or with my kids or whatever occasionally. But I'm just getting burned out on that game. Like, like, it's, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have fun playing it, but it's just like, I want to change it up a little bit. It's kind of boring sticking to the same game. So yeah, I've been playing Halo multiplayer, and I just love that. I just can't wait for for Halo Infinite's multiplayer to come out, and with it being, free to play. Like, I know that basically, if anyone that I know that has an Xbox will be able to play it. So
are they just
cross-gen?
Are they just putting it out for people to just download?
Yeah. They're doing the same model essentially as the Warzone stuff for Call of Duty, where
if you buy the game, it's included also.
Yeah, I mean, on the disc, yeah, I'm sure it's included, but I mean, you can just download it, buy it. I'm guessing it's gonna be a thing where they'll give you the option, if you buy the game, to download it. But I think it's gonna kind of, they're gonna do that thing of letting people decide. Like, you have to say that you want to download the multiplayer. Otherwise, it will only download the campaign, because to save space for saves and stuff like that. And so if people don't want to play the multiplayer right away, they can always just download the campaign, and then once they finish that, erase the campaign and go get the multiplayer. So I've had a long day today, but yeah, so I'm just really looking forward to that. We'll talk about it more in the show here, about the Halo stuff. 'Cause we can actually, yeah, because I mean, that's all I've been playing. So why don't we just get into that then? So, all right. so we had E3 and then the extended showcase, which was hosted by Paris Lilly, and I don't know about you, but I thought he did like a phenomenal job on that show. Like
He did.
it was so good.
Yeah,
Like
he
he did
did.
such a great job on that. So yeah, essentially what it was, if you haven't watched it or haven't listened to it, definitely go check it out. But so essentially what they did is they took the time to like show us some more extended like stuff about some of the games that they may have shown at the E3 show.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was also some stuff that they kind of felt didn't really fit the E3 proper show, and so they wanted to kind of just show it here at the extended thing and kind of, you know, and have just have its own kind of little thing to talk about stuff.
Kind of their version of the Treehouse.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, it was still kind of a showcase, but it was but it was like they also did a little bit of deep dives. I'm not gonna touch on every single game and stuff that was there. I kind of wanted to pick some stuff that that not only I was interested in, but like also like, you know, things like Scarlet Nexus. Like I feel like most people, because it's for all consoles, it's going to be for all consoles. Like, you know, and most Xbox shows I don't think are really gonna focus on that too much, but I really enjoyed it. But there some of the stuff that we won't really talk about were just like little add-on things that were kind of just, you know, stuff we kind of already knew about. But so yeah, like first off, I'll start with the Halo. So all this week we've gotten a couple info dumps or like videos going in depth on like the multiplayer and stuff like that for Halo Infinite. And they had a thing where they did a deep dive on the multiplayer, which I think that video was released like Wednesday or Tuesday or something. It was like in the beginning of the week, and then they showed some more and talked some more during this extended showcase thing about the Halo Infinite multiplayer. And me personally, like I said, like watching all this stuff, I was just like, I've got to play Halo now. Like, so I've been just going back and, you know, like I said, going back to Halo 5 and playing multiplayer because I'm just like, I'm so ready for this. But what were your thoughts on kind of like the stuff that they talked about and like, you know, like we're getting some new vehicles that are much more used for like carrying weapons and things like that, so you can kind of almost like if they're like if they have like a big battle going on, you can kind of like throw a whole bunch of weapons on the truck and then like park that truck over by wherever you're going to go to battle, and everyone grabs stuff off of it and just start working together to you know, like in the fight. And they have like cool things like that they're doing. And obviously, you know, the stuff that we've already seen or knew about, like the hook shot and stuff like that. And then during this, they also talk about the about like, well, they talked about during a couple of the videos about the game, the battle pass type stuff that they're doing. I was really excited about that because they're doing something that like none of these games that have battle passes are doing, where if let's say you buy the game like 3-4 months after it's been out, like for whatever reason you just couldn't get around to it, or you wanted to wait until you got a Series X or a Series S or something, and you missed that first battle pass that they had released when the game came out, and that one's done, and now the second one started. Well, at any time, no matter when you join the game or start playing it, you can go back and you can buy those battle passes that you missed to unlock all the loot that those gave you. So like none of this like Fortnite where it's either you get this thing now or you'll never see it again, or it could be, you know, a year or two before you can buy this, or you've got to buy it in the store, or, you know, like all these things where it's just very, very much about, you know, trying to get people to spend their money, you know, making them think that it's rare, and it's, you know, like they're not going to do any of that, you know, trying to trick people into, you know, spending their money. Because in my opinion, that's kind of like, it's kind of the same as gambling, like that it's very easy, I think, for someone to get addicted to that, like, oh, if I don't get it now, you know, like I'm never gonna get it kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not a healthy practice, in my opinion. So like it was just kind of nice to see that they're going a little bit more user friendly with some of that stuff, and making it where you can kind of pick and choose what you want, and not forcing you to have their battle pass every single week, you know, and
Yes.
be playing it every single day to make sure that you don't miss out on something. So but yeah, so yeah, Ed, what were your thoughts on what you've seen so far?
It looks very entertaining. I like the fact that they're doing 12 versus 12 battle. That they give you more options in the open area to you know, if you want to hop in this vehicle, go and take care of the sniper, and then go and help the other team and stuff. I love the fact that um that is more, you know, it looks well put together, and it looks like it's going to be a chaotic, but everybody is working together to achieve that goal. And then seeing the capture the flag and hearing that samurai outfit that you can unlock for free in the game. So that's really nice to hear about it. Seeing it once again, all the, like I said, the shooting, the jumping, the gameplay, like the way that you grab the sword and things like that. It looks really interesting. It still looks good. And I think a lot of Halo players are excited for this. So it was a really good impression from what they showed.
Yeah, they doubled down on the customization too. Like you can have prosthetic legs, you can have prosthetic arms, you can have, you know, like and each like individual piece of like your arms, your legs, your head, your like all that stuff, you can completely, you know, change and have different pieces to all those things. And like you said, like they said right out, like we're not going to lock every single cool thing that people really want behind the battle pass either. Like the battle pass is going to be for the people who are collectors and want to, you know, have a whole bunch of variety. But the you know, a lot of the cool things like that samurai outfit and stuff, like there still will be some really cool things that you can unlock without the paying for the battle pass, just for playing the game, you know, like. And yeah, I just really like that they kind of focused on some of that stuff. I think in this you know, time and day, like where it's too easy for some of these companies to go crazy with that stuff, like it was nice to see that they're taking a little bit more tamer approach to it, and just, you know, like trying to be as fair about it as they possibly can. So
But it makes sense because they're offering you gameplay mode for free. You know, and so in order for them to monetize out of it, they're offering these battle passes for people who just really wanted the multiplayer, and they know that if you want more out of it, yes, give us some coins, some money, and you would get the same thing as everybody else. Because I don't think Game Pass players are getting anything besides the game and the multiplayer. They're not getting the battle pass. That's I'm
I
assuming.
have a I have a feeling there might be some discounts there. I could see you getting the battle pass at a discounted price because you have Game Pass.
Game Pass, yes. I can see that.
So like I'm sure there'll be perks in there. Like I'm sure there'll also be perks where they could even do where like in the section that you have the like all the different things you can do to get Microsoft points and stuff. I'm sure they might even have stuff in there where if you like you level up your battle pass, like you can get like 2,000 or 3,000 Microsoft points or something, that you can then trade in for money, real money or Microsoft money or whatever. Like I'm sure that there's a lot of different things they could do to kind of like get, like give benefit people who have Game Pass. But yeah, I mean that, obviously we'll have to wait and see for a lot of that, but yeah, like, and if you're a fan, of the franchise and like have played it and stuff, and that like they always put a lot of work into trying to make new levels for multiplayer.
Yes.
And they don't really charge you to get those new maps. A lot of the times they make them and then you get them, in the gameplay stuff without having to really pay for it. So I mean, yeah, like it's basically a way to support them, to continue to support the hard work that they do, like getting that battle pass while in turn also getting stuff that benefits you as well. So yeah, I'm really excited for that game just in general. But all right, so the next thing, the Game Pass extending beyond what we already have or know, or knew, I should say. So on the showcase extended, they talked about Game Pass. Moving forward, it's going to, in the future here, I think pretty soon, they're going to be switching over to Series X hardware, backing the games that you're playing. So Game Pass, when you have it, you will be playing the Series X versions of everything that's in Game Pass. Like, like unless it doesn't have a Series X patch, which I feel like most stuff at this point does. Like a lot of stuff, a lot of the things that really really matter, and I mean they're always working on that. But the coolest thing that they said is that goes for people who have an Xbox One as well. So if you have an Xbox One and like with it being hard to find a Series X, and you have Game Pass and you're like, oh, this sucks because I only get to play the Game Pass games that are only for the Xbox One. Well, that won't be the case anymore. Like, you won't be able to obviously download those games onto your console and play them off of your console like you can with the Xbox One Game Pass games. But you'll be able to play the streaming version of those games through your Xbox One. So you don't need an Xbox Series X to be able to play these games at their best looking quality. So So that was pretty big, like when they said that you were going to be able to basically use the Game Pass cloud gaming from your Xbox One
Mm-hmm.
and be able to play the Series X versions of games through your Xbox. So that's a and it's a smart move, because I mean that way they're not really cutting off all of their fan base, like all the people who bought Xbox Ones who may not be able to afford a Series X right now,
It's
or
not that they
have to.
can't afford it. You can't find
Well,
one.
well, no, but that's what I was getting to, is like, I mean, you do have people, I'm sure, that just, even if they could find one, can't afford it right now. Or, I mean, there's a lot of people who, were laid off for a long time during the pandemic who
Yeah.
I'm sure like are, like pretty effed, but uh so, it's just going to be a kind of a neat way for people to not feel left out. Like they won't have to feel left out for very long here. Because yeah, it sounds like it's a thing that's going to be happening sooner than later. But yeah, I don't remember if they gave a specific date on that or not.
I'm assuming that they'll probably do it in August. Like if they don't do it by the end of the month or probably by next month, I think it's gonna be in August because they're gonna start it with Psychonauts too. I have a feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, you've got, which I don't really have on our thing, but they showed and talked more about Horizon 5, Forza Horizon 5, some more in this, and like kind of just they talked about like why they picked Mexico and stuff like that as the place for it to be set, and they kind of went into depth about that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of those games like that, people are going to want to play that Series X
Mm-hmm.
version of it, and if they can do it, streaming through a console that can hardwire into their router or whatever, and give them the best possible experience as far as any kind of lag or connection issues, like that's going to be the best way to do it anyways. So um yeah, it's really cool. I think we've kind of like speculated that something like this would maybe happen. I think we've been kind of saying that since the beginning, that we think that eventually someday that you'll be able to play the newer, better looking games off of your old hardware. But we never really knew for sure. I think that at the time that just was kind of like a wishful thinking thing.
Yeah.
But it was cool for them to say, yeah, like, like TVs, all that stuff now. But you also, like, we don't want to leave you out because you have old hardware. You can still use that old hardware to play new games, which is really cool. So, but
Or
yeah,
I should say, or that version of the game in case of
yeah,
it like if it's something that came out for Xbox One,
yeah,
along with Series X.
yeah, yeah. All right. Is there anything more about that you wanted to touch on at all?
No, not really. I think it's cool. Yeah, and that's all I can say because
All right.
it's Game Pass.
Yeah. All right. Then the next thing that I put on here, because like we had a pretty full E3 cast
Yeah.
on that Sunday. So I some of the stuff I kind of just put on here because I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on some things. So they did show, and talk a little bit more about the Sea of Thieves crossover with Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, and they kind of went into a little bit more detail on that as well during this extended showcase thing. And I'm excited to see where this goes and where Like what kind of, like if this is gonna like really bring like an actual big chunk of like narrative driven like co-op kind of story mode like to this game. And they also talked that they're all about trying to bring more and more cool things to Sea of Thieves. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the Sea of Thieves stuff that you've seen so far?
I think it's cool. I'm surprised that it's free, and I'm
Yeah.
surprised that like Disney teamed up with Microsoft to make this happen. And it looks like it's gonna be a fun ride. I still gotta update my game for it. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to like give it a try and see what it offers and stuff. Because it looks like Sea of Thieves is now, of course, appealing to the Microsoft fan base, but now it's like working to get it's working to get like everybody on the platform to play, everybody onto this game, whether you got it on Game Pass or you thinking of buying the game digitally or physically. That's very attractive. Definitely when we talk about Xbox doesn't kind of have like a market for for everyone.
Yeah.
This is a good start for them to get into it, to be like, hey, if you guys want to play a fun selling game, we got this, and we got the well-known series franchise, Pirates of the Caribbean, that you and your friends could play, but also you and your kids could play.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Now we just need a Goonies crossover.
oh, that's not about to happen.
No, I know, but a boy can wish. I would love that.
Shoot,
But
a lot of people will be lost and be like, "What the heck is the Goonies?" And then you have to show them the movie to help them understand it.
hey, you guys.
Yeah, like I know all the Goonies. I still love that movie.
Yeah.
Still watch it. But like people who don't know about that franchise, they'll be like, "Oh, okay."
It's still such a good movie. That movie still holds up today. Like I watch it at least like once or twice a year. I just absolutely love that movie. It's one of my favorite 80s movies. All right. So the next thing we got was like I don't know what you'd really call it, is like a mix of like Hellblade 2 kind of stuff mixed with like what the developers have kind of been doing technology wise to do things on that game. But yeah, and some key wording when they were talking about Hellblade is they had mentioned something about working on trying to get a little chunk of the game created for people to kind of like get a little taste of the experience. And so I started to think, ooh, I don't know that we're gonna get this game until like maybe the end of next year or the beginning of 2023 at the earliest.
I think it's gonna be next year fall, or a little bit into the summer, because I think Hellblade, when it originally came out, was in August on
Yeah.
PS4. So I think we'll probably get the same kind of deal, that it'll be ready to come out next year around August or September.
Hopefully. I don't I'm not too sure about that. Just I don't know, just the way they talked about it, it just
Well,
did not seem like it was as far, like it's very far along.
Well, that's a lot of things about, even with PlayStation and Microsoft, is that when we see these trailers, we don't know how far along they're into it. And so when
Yeah.
they keep saying nothing, or they be like, yeah, if we just started, or we're doing this in the process, then you should know or respect that, yeah, this game
Yeah.
is not coming out to a couple
Yeah.
of years.
Which yeah, like I'm not, like it doesn't make me upset per se that
Mhm.
to think that it's going to be a lot later till this comes out. It just, like it's just like kind of like a bummer. But at the same time, I want them to take all the time that they need till they feel like this game is 100% ready, like
Yeah.
because I as long, along with them want it to just be like the best experience that we can get. And if that
What
means that it's going to be, another year and a half till it comes out,
well,
I'm perfectly fine with that.
it's going to be what are they doing on Unreal Engine 5, and if
Mhm.
Unreal Engine 5 is that good and they're not gonna say spectacular, but if it's that good where this engine really does cut down production time,
Yeah.
everybody's first game with Unreal Engine 5 should take a couple of years or should take some time and
Yeah.
some delays because you're trying to find out what the engine is about and learn all the
Yeah.
tricks and the tips and tricks.
Mhm.
So when your second game come out, you could cut that development time for a bit because you know how to run the engine. And I think that's what Ninja Theory is doing with Hellblade 2, since it's gonna be on Unreal Engine 5, they gotta learn it. Don't forget, Ninja Theory is not is not
Massive.
knowledgeable in
Oh,
engine, you
yeah.
know. Like Bethesda, because they have id Software,
Yeah.
uh 343 Studios is make they're brilliant. They built their own engine to make
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, and
Yeah.
and the people who made Gears, they came from Epic.
Yeah.
So they have a history of how to work with a engine. They're the technical
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Ninja Theory is more of the special effects and storytelling of
Yes.
and gameplay also of
Mhm.
a design studio. So
Yeah.
with us knowing that they're doing Hellblade 5, not Hellblade 5, sorry, Hellblade 2 on Unreal Engine 5, I could see 2023, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt of 2022 because they announced it
Yeah.
so early.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I think I'm cautioning like, just trying to, not think that it's going to come out earlier, I guess. So just to so when I do get the announcement that it's coming sooner than I'm
Mhm.
thinking, I'll be more excited. But
I think
yeah, like,
Oh, I
oh,
was
go
just
ahead.
gonna say, I think more people will be relaxed once official gameplay comes out. There's
Yeah.
gonna be hype and excitement, and then
Yeah.
they be like, okay, you can now take your time because you guys really are working it. It's looking impressive, and so once you guys get it ready to announce the date, you can.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and that, there was a couple of things, on the E3 too, like where we only just got cinematic trailers, but I like, like I was fine with that to a certain extent, where it didn't get me excited really for any game per se,
Hmm.
because they didn't really show any. But like, like the one with the vampires, where you had the cast of different characters that was animated, and and they're hunting the vampires and stuff. Like,
Hmm.
I really liked those characters, like, and to me, that's all I needed to know for now, is that, like, okay, I have an idea of the character and the humor direction that they kind of want to go at the game, and
Yes.
that's good enough for me now. But like, I do want to see some actual game, like this stuff actually in action in the game. But um but it did it doesn't really got me excited for any kind of game yet, because we didn't see any. But it's kind of been the same with, with a couple of things we've seen. But yeah, the Hellblade 2 though is one I know we're both like really looking forward to, because just seeing, like, just the little clips and things of stuff, and just kind of knowing that this game is going to be quite a bit more, like, it seems like a way bigger game. um I'm just really excited to go on the journey again, through this game, because that first one is still just
which
one
I
of the
just need
best.
I need to power through it. I think I'm gonna start it over again and just straight power through it. Take 2 days and get through the whole game because
Yeah,
I haven't beaten it yet and it's
yeah,
on my backlog list to be for Xbox.
yeah.
Rephrase that. My backlog to beat on Xbox and PlayStation 4, and I still gotta buy the Switch version. That's how good I love this game. And one of the reasons why I got it on PlayStation 4 and I got it on Xbox One was because of Ninja Theory. So
Yeah,
the research that they was doing with it, and I just felt like it was a great cause, and to be able to contribute there by a purchase of a game, and then the game actually be a phenomenal, outstanding game. Is one
yeah.
of the best from Ninja Theory. I will put that money down. I'm sad that I didn't get a physical for Switch, but I will take what I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to learn more about Project Mara too, their other game that they're working on. Because it's supposed to take place in the like one little building the whole entire game, and it's focusing on like it's focusing on depression and having like the mental issues and things like that people face, and and kind of an experiencing that in a different kind of way. So yeah, they've talked about it, and I watched like the dev blog or dev diary stuff and all that, and
Hmm.
that's really looking interesting. I can't wait to hear more about that too. But
Yes.
all right, and so the next one I picked was Scarlet Nexus. They did an amazing deep dive on this game. Like everything almost that you could want to know about this game, or like learn about it, whether it's
Hmm.
something for you. Like I feel like they just did a really good job of just really digging deep into this game, and giving people a little glimpse into their heads of where they were coming when they designed the map, to like why things look the way they do, like what your characters are there to do. And like they just did an amazing, like seriously, if you have not watched this and you have any kind of interest in Scarlet Nexus, definitely go check out that deep dive, because
Hmm.
it was amazing. Yeah, because like seeing that deep dive just put me over the edge of being interested in that game, to just absolutely being excited to experience that world, because it just looks amazing. And like I just love how they like, because like I've said this before, I'm not super big into the whole cell shading stuff, but I really like how they figured out a way to put a cell shaded character into a world that's supposed to be more photorealistic, and they do a deep dive on talking about how he made that happen, and like and how he wanted to try it and wasn't sure if it was going to work, and and how like it turned out really perfect. That game just is just a masterpiece looking game, in my opinion. Just from an art standpoint, it looks awesome. But uh what did you think about all the stuff that we've kind of got on this game?
Oh, I was already gonna buy Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah,
Like ever since I seen the first trailer, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a day one purchase.
yeah,
I do like how they just break everything down, how the game looks, and I can't wait to play more. For it. Uh, I was actually shocked that they actually did a deep dive on here because it tells me now that because I think it's coming out real soon. So
yeah, yeah. It's
I
coming out. It's coming out next week. I think it's the 24th or 5th. I thought
uh
of this month. Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I can look it up if you want to talk about.
I got it right here.
Oh, do you?
Scarlet Nexus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it comes out in a week or two.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it's Yeah, next Friday.
Okay.
Dang, everything is dropping next Friday.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
crazy.
So much. We've got so many games
Dude,
coming this year. Holy crap.
So for
Ugh.
anyone who's watching this, we have Scarlet Nexus, Tony Hawk's Skater 1 and 2 coming to Switch, Mario Golf coming to Switch. Like we got 3 games already on the 25th, all on next Friday. That's crazy.
And I'm pretty sure there's more than that. I think there's a couple more that are coming out within the week or so. I just can't think of off the top of my head right now, but
it may be indie, but yeah, Scarlet Nexus is definitely a big thing because I think that's kind of the next Xbox release.
Yeah.
For Xbox One and Series X, or just Xbox in general, I think that's the latest game that's coming to the platform.
Yeah. Well, and like you were mentioning, being kind of surprised, like how much they did, but like, I think we're slowly seeing some of this payoff of Phil Spencer really trying to let these Japanese developers and stuff know that he is interested in having their stuff be like celebrated on the Xbox, on Xbox's consoles and and everything, and like it just really was cool to see this, just because it's it's something we're used to seeing on like on Nintendo's or on PlayStation's showcases or whatever, but like we're not used to getting like a full on like like straight up everything's in Japanese, and and they're talking about the game kind of stuff. Like it was just really cool to get to see them be excited about this game and stuff, and I really hope that people who have Xbox like show their support for this game, because it, like, I think that really matters. It's a small step, that part of the small steps that we've been seeing, where we're getting more and more like the Final Fantasy games, and and more Japanese developed games on Game Pass and stuff like that, like the Yakuza and stuff like that. But it's just really cool, and honestly, like, if you like games like I would say Nier Automata, or like Bayonetta, or those kind of games, I feel like Scarlet Nexus is going to be that kind of game that people who like that kind of stuff are going to enjoy. Yes. Because I'll be honest, it kind of reminds me of Nier Automata. So I like it had feels of it like that, like remind me of that game a little bit, but yeah, so I'm excited for that game. I'm just really looking forward to that. And yeah, we don't have to wait very long. It'll be a couple of days after you listen to this show. So
yeah, I think I'll be picking it up when I pick up Mario Golf. Friday.
Yeah, I definitely want to get Mario Golf too. But all right, the next thing I put on here was the Design Labs are back. Like some of those controller designs that they had sitting up on that table. I want that.
Yeah.
Like they added those couple of new colors that they had on those new controllers that they released a little while back. So yeah, I think this, I'm finally gonna eventually here make my own, but
we had a feeling that it was gonna come back after they stopped production. I was just like, they're stopped it for Xbox One. They'll be back for Series X.
Yeah. I think everyone figured that was probably the case, but yeah, it was just cool getting to see see some of the new designs, and now it's got that it's an actual Series X or Series controller, I should say. So it's got the button.
Now I will say, for some of the people who've been like putting up colors from Nintendo games and other stuff, they do not look good on Design Lab. Like, you really got to, uh, and I'm not saying it's the person, it's the color combo. And I
Yeah.
think some people really need to study color and design so they can understand that when you go in and you make your Design Lab controller, that it looks raw, that you really, the money that you're putting in, that it looks tight. Because sometimes I looked at some of them and I was just like, this looks like a third party thing that just they just do some colors. This doesn't look right. So
Yeah.
I think some people need to like study some color patterns, look at some movies, like look at some designs, some design techniques or something about color, and make sure, or even test your colors out on a custom creation thing for a video game, so that when you do make your Design Lab, that it looks nice. Because I looked at some of them that people were making, and try to show all to be like, oh, this is my inspiration of this controller for this game. It looks terrible. It looks just like that doesn't look right at all.
Yeah, I think and like honestly, it can just be a matter of switching. Like, you can stick with the colors that you picked, but you've just got to figure out the right combination. Is it the sticks that need to be this color instead of the actual, surface of the controller, or is it this thing that needs to be that color instead of this? Because like when I was going through trying to make one that was like, influenced by my my love of the Tennessee Titans. I had to, mess around with it a little bit. I think I spent like an hour or something for something I didn't even end up buying, but I was just trying to, mess around with it and see, what kind of like color schemes I could mix around to make it. But yeah, yeah, I think that's the thing though, is it's sometimes you may have the right colors that you want,
Yeah.
but it's just a matter of picking what pieces are what color, because some of them, if they're too overpowering, where there's more of that color than the other one, it can just be too much.
Yes.
Yeah, so I completely get that, but and what's cool about that is you can literally go on the website and you can actually see what it's going to look like with each piece that you pick, and you can mix it around and change it up to see what looks better for you. So the next thing that we got was a nice deep dive on Psychonauts 2. And man, like I'm excited for this game. Like, I've played the first one, not all of it. I haven't finished it. I actually started it more recently because, with everything going on, and I just kind of wanted to see. And I like that game, the first one, enough, but it definitely feels its age. Like there's parts of it, in my opinion, that didn't really age very well. But like overall, it's a great game. But I'm just, the way this new one looks and like just everything about it, it just looks so good, and I'm excited for that game as well, to play that.
Yeah, Psychonauts 2 looks really good. I think I didn't like this deep dive. I think
Oh,
it
you
was
didn't? Okay.
I think it was too informative, and it
Yeah.
jumped around so many places. Just like, what is the plot of this game?
Yeah.
I think what's his name could have kept it simple. Um, like, give us some gameplay ideas, give us like one land, or like kind of like a quick synopsis of what the plot is, and then move on.
I think that was I feel like I think that was an unknowingly glimpse into how his mind works. Like
Mm-hmm.
that there's just a lot of this crazy stuff like, going on up in his head that he's thinking of, that I think he just, cuz I understand from a point where like I'm very much like that too, where I can be, when I'm thinking of things, I can be
Yeah.
very scatterbrained and don't always present everything in the order like that it maybe need to when I'm talking about or telling a story about something or whatever. And so I think that was more of just probably maybe just like him kind of, like just really having that passion of him being able to talk about what this game is and stuff.
And
But
and and I
but I
and I
do I do get what you're saying though. Like that, yeah, it was like he would be getting you really interested in this part of the game, but then he'd be on to the next, and it's like, well, wait, but what about?
and
But
and
I
I
think part
and
of
I
it
think
might be to throw you off too. He don't want to tell you too much.
he's trying to make up so much lost time with the delays
Yeah,
and like not being really able to talk and reveal this game. I think
yeah,
he decided to be like, okay, we're going to give you a lot of information
yeah,
for this. And it's just like, you, and that's cool that you're giving us information, but you should have made this a quick summary of what is the plot, what new techniques you're going to showcase or
yeah,
let us know. Maybe demo a world and then call it quits. I'm
yeah,
like, you jumping around trying to explain what everything is not necessary. People are going to
yeah,
drown out because they're going to feel like that they already know the game. And
yeah,
it kind of felt at a point that like, dude, you're spoiling so much of the game just by talking and showing things off.
yeah.
um uh
I think
so
I think that at the same time though, I think there was part of him that like was kind of hinting that even though he was saying all this stuff, that there's still so much more to it that he didn't really talk about. Like, because I mean, all that information that you would want to know was there, but yeah, it was like you just really have to pay attention to what he's saying. But yeah,
well,
because like I mean, they talk about like like it sounds like there's a couple of like there's an ongoing thread, but there's some big events that happen throughout. So it's not like one particular event. It's multiple events happening one after the other. But
mhm.
I think that's probably maybe partially why it was so like kind of felt a little jumbled, is I think he didn't say too much on certain things,
Yeah, Tim
just because
Schafer.
he doesn't want to give away how all these things that seem like they have nothing to do with one another all do have something to do with
But
one
this
another.
is the problem with it. He did say, for Tim Schafer, did say that the stuff that he was talking about interconnects with what's going on in the game. So
Mhm.
what you think is not part of the reason why things are happening, it really is. And it was just like, that's great. That's good to know that you're making a connection, but we should have been able as players to find that out on
Yeah,
ourselves. So I
yeah,
kind of, because I feel like that, yes, as much as I'm going to play it and enjoy it, it would have been cool if I could experience this game when I pick it, when I buy it and put it in and play it, or for Game
yeah,
Pass members, download it and play it. Like I want to understand, but I want to understand on my own terms,
yeah,
and comprehend or just enjoy because I know he's trying to, like I said earlier, trying to make up for all the delays and stuff, but there's a way to make a presentation that could be short, simple, and to the point.
yeah,
In video form,
yeah,
not this kind of way to do it. Like I know
yeah.
it's a deep dive, but it feels like more of a deep spoiler.
Fair enough. Yeah, luckily my brain I won't remember anything he said by the time it comes out. So it'll all be new to me. All right. So that leads us to our final topic. Now, this has been something that has been kind of going around on the internet lately. I contemplated even talking about it because honestly, for me, I don't know.
I think it's a good discussion to have. So
yeah.
So go ahead. So go ask
Yeah.
the question, Jesse. I think it's a good discussion to have.
Okay. Yeah. So Starfield came up, and there is now 100% no denying Starfield is exclusive to the platforms that Microsoft can be found on. You know, Game Pass, PC, things like that, Xbox, obviously. So, and we got a little apology letter from some of the people at Bethesda.
So Pete Hines, he's the marketing head of Bethesda, came out and apologized to PlayStation owners about not being able to bring Bethesda games to their platform. But if they want to play them, you gotta come to the Xbox family. You gotta get an Xbox One or Series X, or you can play it on PC. But it sounds like
on your Game Pass.
Game
you can
Pass.
Play it.
Yeah.
Now you can play it on your your old Xbox if you still have an old Xbox.
Right.
There's a million ways to play it.
So he understood the frustration, and which I don't understand. But he was just reiterating and saying, yes, I'm sorry, PlayStation owners, that you guys will only get Deathloop and that'll be it. But from now on, our games are going to be on the Microsoft platform.
Deathloop, and then what's the other game?
That's it. Deathloop is the only one.
I thought there was two games that.
I think they're doing Indiana Jones. I think Bethesda's doing Indiana Jones.
There's Deathloop, and then there's another game though that I thought they were doing for them that was exclusive.
Nope, I think Deathloop and Indiana Jones, because everything else came out. Doom Eternal came out, and that was Doom Eternal was like the last major game that came out from Bethesda. That hit all the platforms, even Switch, but Switch got theirs late. Switch got theirs the following year, because we just got it this year for it.
Yeah.
Deathloop is going to be the last game that's going to be part of multi-platform.
Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop are the two games that both of those were only for PlayStation, and they're still only for PlayStation.
Okay.
So yeah. I mean, well, not only for PlayStation, but they're timed exclusive for PlayStation.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the Ghost one was going to be multi-platform, because I couldn't remember if it was exclusive or anything, because they haven't shown much from it. Which is fine. So this is my thing about it. I felt like this was a waste of time. Pete Hines didn't have to come out and apologize for this, and the reason why I'm saying he didn't have to apologize, because you could have did this when the announcement came out that Microsoft brought ZeniMax. You had enough time. It's been almost it's been probably 7 or 8 months after the purchase of it, even after it's been finalized. You had time to come out and say something. I don't know who in the PlayStation community was frustrated or complaining when everybody was celebrating this, even PlayStation fans. Only thing that certain PlayStation fans had was, are we going to get any other games? Are there going to be some exclusive games? Because they see what Microsoft did with Nintendo, and how it got Minecraft Dungeon, and how it got not Cuphead, because that's not a Microsoft game, but Ori 2 in a sense. How Microsoft is allowing some games still to be on the Nintendo platform.
Yeah. But that's part of that though, is because Nintendo, like like Nintendo has been, for some people surprisingly welcoming and working with Microsoft, and
Mm-hmm.
you know and Microsoft like did you know offer to work with PlayStation and trying to get, they wanted to make the Minecraft games, be able to people be able to play with whoever they want to, no matter what console or PC or whatever they're playing it on. They wanted to be able to make it so those games could continue to move forward, get the free updates, and be able to, people to be able to play with their friends, mostly a lot of kids and stuff who, like what console they have at home depends on what their parents are willing to get for them or what their parents already have. And Microsoft, like, said, hey, we wanted to do this, and would you guys be interested in letting us do this? And right off the bat, Sony said no. The we don't want to do that. And so that's kind of where, in a way, like, Sony kind of burned that bridge with them.
But
and and now, like, Microsoft moving forward is just working with the people who are willing to work with them. And
Microsoft
I
is
think,
still working with Sony for some of their
yeah,
cloud technology, but for
yeah,
game wise,
game one, yeah,
I could see with some of the features. So
yeah,
yes, it is more welcoming on Nintendo's platform than Microsoft. I think with the Bethesda thing, with Pete Hines coming out and saying something, I don't know how many PlayStation fans are frustrated by this. And we talked about this earlier, like past months, that Microsoft needs Bethesda to help their product line, to help the
mhm,
visibility and get systems out. Bethesda needs Microsoft because their games haven't been hitting. Bethesda Doom Eternal got outdone by Animal Crossing, regardless of
yeah,
if there's a pandemic or not. It still got outdone. Even when the pandemic's over, Animal Crossing is still in the top 10 of stuff.
yeah.
Doom,
Well,
Doom, but
and
Doom,
and the thing I just really wanted to mention quick too is, like, I understand that now that they've been multi-platform, and like,
mhm.
being on console is just a normal thing now. But you still, like, people still got to remember, like, Xbox is the main reason that they even took that step into going on consoles in the first place. And, like, a lot of those games that they made were exclusive to the Xbox console for quite
Well,
some time.
Well, that was the thing about Bethesda going way back to the original Xbox because they had an
And the
Elder Scrolls game.
360. And
Well,
360 they got stuff
even
too.
before 360, I'm just talking about the
Yeah.
original Xbox.
Hmm.
Bethesda was only putting stuff out on PC. So when
Yep.
it came to when it came to consoles, Bethesda was only supporting one platform, and that was Microsoft. When it came to 360, that's when they decided to do Sony stuff. Sony was on top of the world with the PlayStation 2 while Xbox was out and didn't get anything from Bethesda. Microsoft was supporting that.
Yeah.
So it just only makes sense that even now that since Bethesda came out and Microsoft been supporting them so much, them not putting their games on PlayStation, yeah, it's more disappointing to fans than it is frustrating. The thing about people got to realize is that Bethesda, uh, ZeniMax in total, because I'm just going to call them ZeniMax in total. Their games have been hit and miss. Their games been a hit with Skyrim. It's been a hit with Doom. Even Skyrim and Doom shocked Bethesda or ZeniMax when it came to Switch. And I'm not, because I'm adding that because I'm trying to go through a timeline. But then Wolfenstein 2 came out, it went silent. Wolfenstein Youngbloods came out, went silent. Fallout 76 came out, was a disaster.
And
Fallout 4,
now it's big.
now
Like
it's big.
now it's big because they've fixed a lot of it. But
Right.
yeah, it's
Don't, Fallout 4 came out and killed Rise of the Tomb Raider, but it only sold well more on PC than it did console, and everybody stopped talking about that game. And people were just like, okay, I get it. I know what it is about. And don't forget, Fallout 4 had built up hype. Dishonored, as good as it was, Dishonored 2 went nowhere. The DLC for Dishonored 2 went nowhere. Prey came out. Nobody talked about it or barely played it. So it's just like Bethesda, ZeniMax themselves, they had all of these games out, but they're so up and down, hit and miss. You don't know if their games are going to be a consistent thing or if it's going to be just there in a sense. Sony has been crushing it with their first party over Microsoft. You know, Bethesda has, but the last game of the year that Bethesda has was was Skyrim. They have never, after Skyrim hit Game of the Year, Sony has been killing it with Game of the Years, with nominations and with wins. So Microsoft is, yes, they got Bethesda, but they got to make sure that Bethesda gives them the games that's going to make them, that's going to bring in the players, that's going to bring in people to the service, that's going to that's going to highlight and showcase what Bethesda and Microsoft can do teaming up. But ZeniMax and Bethesda and Microsoft are in a proving position, because this is the same thing that happened with Rare after Nintendo sold it. You got with a big company, and now you got to prove all of that. But Rare wasn't proving anything because Cameo came out, whatever it is, and that didn't do so well. You know, and so Microsoft and ZeniMax got a lot to prove. Sony PlayStation fans shouldn't have to worry when you already got strong first party developers. You guys got Insomniac. Microsoft would kill to get Insomniac. Why? Because Insomniac been hitting 9s and 10s. The lowest that they probably hit was there was another game, Infuse, that I didn't know. You know. And that's been the lowest thing. And don't forget, Insomniac did the same thing that Bethesda did when it first started out. They was only supporting one platform, and that's always been Sony PlayStation. So what is there to be mad about? What is there to be frustrated about? You guys got Sony PlayStation has The Last of Us Part 2 that has won the multiple awards. Like I stated earlier, Skyrim was the last award for Bethesda. Microsoft hasn't had any Game of the Year nominations or awards for years. So they need Bethesda to or ZeniMax to produce some great content. We've seen 4 great games be announced from Bethesda. Now it's called Bethesda. From Bethesda, that's coming out, with Redfall being the main lead of it. Redfall got more attention than Starfield, and they're still trying to sell Starfield. If you check Twitter right now, you will see the Starfield Twitter page still trying to show that promo, but everybody's still talking about Redfall. That tells you something about Microsoft and Bethesda as a company. If someone is talking about one game over the other that has been hyped for years after its first showing, that tells you something. If more people are interested to play Redfall than they are interested in playing Starfield, that speaks volumes. And what's going to happen?
I don't know about that. I think the thing is right now, like, we don't know a whole lot about Starfield.
Yes,
quite yet.
that is
you
true,
know, that's the thing. There's plenty of time for hype for that game, but yeah, I think it's just, you know, like, that's the thing, is some people pick certain things out that, you know, like, sometimes people don't expect. I mean, that's just how the way things go. But
I think it might be in my Twitter page. It may be on yours too, Jesse.
Well, I mean, honestly, the thing is like, I mean, Starfield has been dominating the you know, like, the news and media and stuff like that.
I could tell you right now, I have not seen that much stuff. I guess I'm looking at this because that Sunday after we watched E3, so much stuff about Redfall came out, especially with the black character and her
Mhm.
hair and her powers and stuff. People were doing artwork. People was just like, "This is the character I'm playing." They was talking more about Redfield than they were than Starfield.
See, yeah,
Redfield. Starfield. I'm sorry, getting my stuff messed up.
yeah.
But
See,
but
for me, I like mine were mostly that. Like, yeah, they found that interesting and stuff, but no one was really, like, I mean, all it was just, CGI stuff that
for but
didn't really, that was just setting a narrative, but didn't say anything about the game whatsoever. Like,
and that's the same thing with Starfield. It was a CGI.
well,
Um,
that was some of that was actually that was in trailer there, that was in engine stuff.
I
That
think
was
they didn't say
no,
they.
no, that was in engine.
I'm gonna have to look at. I'm gonna have to look at it
That was
again.
in engine.
I said I'm gonna have to look at it again. I'm not trying to argue with you. I
No, I know.
said,
I'm just saying.
but
I'm
but
just
even
saying
if
like
but
that
even
was
if
in engine.
right, but
It
even if
looked
it
amazing.
but even if it was in engine, no one is talking about it on, like I said, on my Twitter page, on my Twitter line. Nobody is talking
Yeah,
about it. They're
I
talking
don't
about,
go. Yeah, I don't go by what my
but you would.
Twitter says either. Cause
But I'm going about that because of what the impact of that trailer has done. And that
mhm.
speaks volumes that when you have a big name company and that's the impact of it, it kind of tells you that if something that is if yes, they're both new IPs, but if one is speaking over the other, that tells you which one is more impactful. I talk a lot about Nintendo. Yes, I can say that. But Breath of the Wild and Metroid Dread, they're both getting talked about over all that stuff, and they're getting talked about equal. I would love to see Starfield and Redfield to be talked about as much as Metroid and Zelda is right now.
Yeah, I think just a lot of the a lot of people's hype levels are kind of like just staying lower on those like some of that stuff for right now because we need to see more,
Yeah,
like I said to you, like everyone kind of goes through their picking, like who won E3 and all that kind of stuff. And I absolutely loved Nintendo's and I loved Microsoft's, like, no question. Those were the best things. The only reason I pick Microsoft's over is because they just had a lot more that they had to prove.
yeah,
And
they
I
had
feel
yeah.
like the majority of people leaving, after finishing the Microsoft one have kind of been able to drop some of that worry and stress a little bit because they proved to us that we're going to have games and
Yeah,
soon, and so like
yeah, it
I think some of that stuff, because yeah, I've heard mixed stuff on all of that. There's people that weren't interested even the slightest in Redfell, and but like absolutely are looking forward to Starfield and wondering because like, and I need to look up the name of this game because it's been bothering me for the last couple of days and I keep forgetting to do it. But like there's talk about like the spaceship stuff, the flying and Starfield, like that you're gonna actually, it's gonna be almost like flight simulator where you're gonna have to flip switches because they said like the all the switches and buttons and stuff that are
yeah.
on your dashboard in that game, all of them can be do something, like they actually do something, they're not just there for visual. So like there's a game though that I played this year last year that was very similar to that, where there is a whole area where in order to be able to take off, there's all these checklists of things that you had to be able to do before your rocket would take off. And I wonder if they're going to do something like that
Who
in that
knows?
game. So like there's been a lot of talk about like things like that and like like what like how what is the gameplay of this game going to be like? Is it going to literally be like like Elder Scrolls in space, or or are they gonna do more like I've heard a lot of talk about all the stuff that's been on this show, but yeah, I mean, I think my ears are just kind of listening for stuff a little bit more,
Well,
like because I haven't focused much on any of the other consoles, lately, because I just
and
hosting this
that's
show, I just want to make sure I'm not missing.
and that's understandable. And I think what I'm just saying when it comes to Pete Hines just apologizing, I just feel like personally for me, you don't have to apologize, and even if you
Yeah,
did, it's too late.
yeah.
Like the Sony fan base has moved on. You got your congratulations. We knew that this
Well,
was
we'll
gonna happen.
see.
Right, we knew. I mean,
We'll
but
see.
we knew we knew what was happening. So,
Yeah.
what is Sony gonna be? What is Sony fans are going to miss? Because the thing about this, they got some top tier first party games
But
that's coming.
That's
And
that's not the point though. Is I think the problem is some of these people, the people that are complaining, not like obviously not the majority of people who prefer PlayStation over Xbox, but these loud minority of people are just like they've been so spoiled. They've had everything. They've gotten like so many games on PlayStation, every like all the time, and they're all like these big hits and stuff like that, that when something good or something that's that a lot of people are talking about or clamoring about that isn't on their console, they're like, well, I want that too. Like I gotta have it all. I should be able to have this and that and this, and like they photo like or not photo, they review bombed Astral Chain because they didn't get their way
it
and they
wasn't
wanted
Astro
that.
It wasn't
Yeah, it
Astro
was.
Chain that
Yeah, it
it.
was. Yes, it was.
How did they bar Astro Chain? I thought it was Bayonetta 2. They did it.
Nope. Nope, it was Astral Chain. There's a whole article on it
Did they
about
do
the
Astro Chain and Bayonetta?
they did. I think they've any games that they wanted on PlayStation that weren't on PlayStation. I
I
think there was groups of people who've review bombed those games
I
because they
know
were mad that they couldn't have it.
I know
So
it
I
was
don't know.
I know it was Bayonetta 2 because that was a Wii U exclusive.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know they
Astral
was
Chain was that was a big one because I remember when that got announced, when Astral Chain got announced, and
didn't
it
nobody
was the
know it.
it was the same thing as like what happened with Starfield. Like in the media there was talk about people being upset and them wanting demanding that game come to PlayStation, and then it came out, and then that's when they had
'Cause-
they had like one of just like this one of the guys, one of the creators of Astral Chain had said something to the community of PlayStation fans and stuff about why it wasn't coming to PlayStation, and like having to deal with that mess, kind of like this. I just I just don't get it because like you said, like PlayStation, and like I said, PlayStation has so many franchises that are
Okay,
massive
I see it.
hits.
I see where the story. Do you want to
Yeah.
know why I okay, so let me tell you why I thought it wasn't Astral Chain for it. Um
Well, don't you
because
remember when Astral Chain was getting review bombed? Like that was a big deal.
it was I I think it I don't I probably missed the story that it was getting review bombed
Yeah.
because of when it was such a new IP that even Nintendo fans, no one knew what it was when it came out. We didn't know that Nintendo and Platinum was doing this at all.
Mhm.
And Nintendo, I think Nintendo paid for this for them to make a game for them. So
Yeah.
it was just like, how is this getting review bombed when I thought it was Bayonetta 2 because it was an exclusive, and people.
That I mean that's possible that happened too,
Because
but
I wonder if it was Astral Chain the reason why Metacritic changed their
yeah.
policy.
Yeah, they had to, because remember they had to, like something was going on with it, and then that game was getting review bombed, and then they found out, like people were piecing together, and the creator, having gotten so many, like, I'm sure, death threats and everything, you name it, that stupid people like to do when they can't have something, like just doing he was getting messages and constantly about it not coming, why it wasn't coming to PlayStation. And then he eventually had said something, but they did have to do something. I think they tried to clear out all the reviews that were just people just bombing it, and just because they were mad, just to give it a 1 star, and trying to fix the rating on it. Because I remember that was kind of that was a thing for a little while there, and then they moved on it, I think, pretty quickly, though, to try to fix that.
So this is the conflicting thing, because there are people saying that Astral Chain, I'm just looking at YouTube, that it got review bombed by PlayStation and Xbox owners.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that there's some Xbox players who did, but like I said, like, we're so used to not getting everything that we want. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't hear that kind of stuff, like, from people who play on Xbox. Like, like, I just know that some consoles get exclusives. That's just the way it works. Like,
and yes, I agree. And it literally depends on who's paying for it and what the deal is. Because Astral Chain is a whole different thing. Nintendo put a budget for a game to be made, versus Xbox and Sony putting a marketing budget for a game that's already in development. That's two different things. So you can't be mad at Nintendo because they pay for a game that is coming to your platform. You can't be mad at Microsoft and Sony if they paying for the marketing. Marketing costs a lot. You got to do it.
Well, we're finally getting all the like a bunch of the Final Fantasy games and all that stuff on Xbox. Like Sony paid for the exclusivity deal of the next couple of the Final Fantasy games, or at least the Final Fantasy 7 add-on stuff, and then the new Final Fantasy game are only going to be on PlayStation. But like, that's they've always worked closer with Sony, so that's not surprising to me,
right?
So like the main reason, like, obviously bringing all this up, just to kind of, I want to kind of just wrap this up a little bit, but like, it just, like, I understand that, like, if you really like a franchise and then it goes somewhere else, or whatever, like, that happens, and I'm not saying that people, can't be bummed about it, but it just, in my opinion, it's just kind of foolish to be told these things. This stuff is happening, like, at some point you've just got to let it go. Like, it is what it is, and like I said, Microsoft is making it so easy.
It's not even
easy to play.
It's not even that's making it easy. Me and LeBron talked about this. Folks are going to complain about something, and then when the product comes out, all those complaints go away. Months after the product is out, the complaints are not there anymore. This happened to the. Sorry, I know you about to end. We're about to end it, but this happened. You remember Far Cry 5? You remember, and all those people complained about that game, saying it's political and Nazis and all of that political mess.
Well, that's happening with 6 now too.
Well, that's happening. Yeah, the game came out. You had a chance to play. You had a chance to pick it up and still say what you said. Far Cry 5 came out and not one word. Not one. You did this whole complaining for almost 2 months about this game in a negative manner, and you had a chance to come out and say something after the game came out, and you said nothing.
Yeah.
Not talking about you, but people who were
Yeah.
people who were complaining, and the people who were complaining were people who don't play video games. So you had a chance to go get you an Xbox Series, not Series X. You had a chance to go get you a One X. You had a chance to go get a PS4 Pro. You had a chance to build a PC and have a chance to play this game, so you could speak your piece and say how right you were, and you said nothing.
Yeah.
So so Sony fans who are frustrated that Bethesda got play some games, guess what? Microsoft has made it easier for you to play it. You don't even have to pick up not one bit of an Xbox. Become a PC player and play the game there. Put your $15 a month right there. Play on your tablet, play on your phone, on the go. It's right there. And you can still hook up your PlayStation 5 controller to play the game. So
Uh-huh.
what are
Yeah.
you? So what is going to be the frustrated thing about it? Because, hey, this is the thing that we in the Wii U era. This is what happened to us when we didn't get barely any third-party games.
Yeah.
Even after we told those companies that we would buy the game and support them, we were
Yeah.
ignored.
Yeah, and and like, and just to kind of wrap it up too, like I think the one thing, too, is I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like these same people that are complaining that Bethesda games aren't coming to the PlayStation are the same people who have been clowning Xbox for years because they don't have exclusives. so you can't both clown them for not having exclusives and get mad when they have
Have
exclusives.
exclusives.
Like, it doesn't, it's
That
just
defeats the
like,
purpose.
what? Yeah, exactly. And they're doing what essentially the masses of people who have been, talking down Xbox, they're trying to do what you said they needed to do, and now you can't be mad about it.
And guess what? Guess what, PlayStation fans who are frustrated? You should have told Sony that they needed to buy Bethesda, ZeniMax. You should have told Sony to put all that money down to get them. But guess what? Sony doesn't have that money because, as it was reported, PlayStation 4 was keeping the business open.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, but I just don't. It all comes back again to, I think Bethesda has always been a better fit on the Xbox, and because it's mostly, it's more of a PC thing. Like Bethesda games have always appealed to the more PC community and stuff like that, and a lot of the PC community are also Xbox, adopters.
And I want to
And
give a shout. Before you go, I want to give a shout out to all the PlayStation fans who haven't not complained or
yeah,
anything, who know that even though they
celebrated it with the rest of us.
exactly.
It's like when, like, I was happy to see that, that we're getting more exclusive stuff on PlayStation. Like, we should all as a community be excited that these consoles have stuff to offer, because I do want to eventually get a PS5, and I want to have stuff for that PS5. Like, right now I have a PS4 Pro. Like, I'll be able to play some of that stuff, luckily, until I can get one. But like, like, we shouldn't be we shouldn't be mad when companies get to, show off cool things that they have for their consoles. Like,
Exactly.
it's,
And the Xbox community celebrated Sony when they brought Insomniac. So why and not one Xbox fan has complained that they're not getting Ratchet and Clank.
yeah,
Not one.
yeah,
Some of the Xbox fans went and got a PlayStation 5 or have one. Yeah, or have one so they can play Ratchet and Clank. They're enjoying it. And
yeah.
they're still
It's
still
not.
a big Xbox fan.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it's about, like, that's the thing, is like the diversity of the consoles is what's appealing, I think, to most people. And, like, Microsoft is trying to work on having more, diverse things to offer people. just like PlayStation is trying to do, and just like Nintendo is trying to do. They want to have, like Nintendo is trying to get, a way for some of these bigger games to be played on theirs, right? Like doing the whole cloud gaming stuff on theirs with some of these games that can't, run technically on it. But all that stuff is, like they're welcoming that stuff because the whole idea of is they want to have a diverse games and things to choose from, and sometimes that means you're going to have to get a different console than the one that maybe you have chose to be your main or whatever. So it's, like it just like I, like we've been saying since the beginning, is I'm ready for some all out just good, competition in the gaming world again, because, let's face it, Microsoft has has not had much to put up for competition. Like they like they've been doing what they can. Game Pass and things like that was like one of the first things to help dig them out. But now they're finally a healthy company again, and I'm just looking forward to all this, like just seeing some good fun games and getting some, like some push to be more competitive and come up with cooler ideas and things like that. So Xbox, this year is just alone is going to be exciting, and I'm sure you're going to have plenty of things to play on PlayStation. You're going to have plenty of things to play on Nintendo. So, there's no reason to get for people. And I know it's not the majority of people, but there's just no reason to get upset and attack things and, and review bomb things just because you're not getting your way. That doesn't help the industry at all. It wrecks the industry completely.
The people who making the games don't care. If they see good sales, they could be viewed by them all you want. They got the sales, and that's what I like about some of the PlayStation community is that they almost felt like me, that you don't have to apologize. That's cool that you're making exclusive stuff for them. It's to me personally, I feel like there's a small percentage of people who are frustrated about it. I can understand, but it'll pass. You'll get some great games that Microsoft will never be getting. So,
well, and I want to say, I think there's, like they're still supporting stuff, too, that's out on other consoles. Like I think they're still going to continue to support Elder Scrolls Online, for PlayStation and stuff like that too. So like, I mean, it's not like they're just completely, just saying goodbye, to anyone who's supported them on other consoles. They're trying, they're doing that. Them and Microsoft are doing as much as Sony will let them do, at
exactly.
this point. Like they will support it. They will support it as long as they've gotten the okay to continue supporting those games that you've already bought, that are continuing. So yeah, like that's the thing, is like nothing about this really, in my opinion, has been like, dirty or felt like it was any kind of, like wrongdoing being done in this. I just, I don't quite understand the anger and the disappointment. So, but all right. I think we'll wrap up the show. That was a good discussion, but like, I just
I can't wait to get my Series X and play these games. I can't wait to get my PlayStation 5 and play these games.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Nitty already got me broke. And Xbox and PlayStation, good Googly Moogly, they gonna have me broke. Man, I need my Series X now, dude, because I want to play that Forza 5 Horizon. Forza Horizon 5. Good Goody, man, that game looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
like hearing so many people talking about the scene that, like where they had the still frame.
Yeah.
And then everyone just thought that was just a picture of something. But then all of a sudden you see the car drive out and you realize that's actually the game. And people are just like, holy shit.
Exactly, because it's just like I said, Forza Horizon 4 looks beautiful. I did not expect because this is the same engine, one of their old engines, I believe. Yeah. I didn't expect them to like bring out this kind of look and graphics. So it's going to be, because this may be Microsoft's Game of the Year nomination, because it looks so good, and if it plays so well, man, and it looks funny too with the bowling stuff. Sorry, I know we need to go. We have to talk all
the yeah. There's plenty more to talk about. Well, I kind of want to touch on next week too about some stuff with Flight Simulator and all that as well. So a little tease for next week, because we got some good information for that. I'm kind of wishing I would have put that on there too, because I'm looking forward to it. But I think I'm the only one really of us three at least. So, but all right. So we'll throw up the X because we're about to exit. You guys have a good week. Good week.
Bye, everybody.
Good day. Good year. Whatever it is.
Woohoo, E3, yes.
Yeah. Xbox. We got games finally.
Right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.